I've been in PR for about 16 years, and for the last 6 or 8 years, I've really focused on how public relations affects what's on the internet. So that kind of led naturally to social media as things started to develop in that space. And initially I just took all sorts of free online courses, and then I started going to workshops, and the next thing I knew I was asked to teach workshops, and so I've just really been immersed and involved in social media, you know, from Twitter to Facebook to Google Plus and all those tools. So I've used it for myself as a presenter and digital public relations practitioner, and then I use it on behalf of clients to help them basically maximize their Google search results for their keywords for their organization. I think the first thing I'd say is we're probably taught at a young age by our parents, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it at all. And I think we tend to hide behind a computer screen and think that what we're saying or sharing or commenting anonymously on, you know, can't be tracked to us, and somehow removes us from feeling morally obligated to the content that we're posting or sharing. And I think we need to rethink that and be very careful with what we say and know that we are cultivating this digital persona of us online. And in my workshop today, I talked about you should be careful with sharing pictures, you know, that you may not want a prospective employer to see. And kind of a good rule of thumb is, you know, if this is something I'd be willing to have my mom see, then fine, put it online. If not, keep it offline, because even if you put it there and then take it down later, there's a record of it. So that's the thing about technology and about these digital tools, is there's always a footprint wherever you go. And it's best to just live your life with integrity and be the person you are in real life, be that same person online. If you're not, there's a conflict there, and you're eventually gonna have some trouble. Yeah. Social media is great at search optimization. In fact, it's kind of changed the whole game of search optimization, because keywords and frequency have big impact on search placement. And that's exactly what social media is. When you're posting on Twitter, you know, these microblogging services, or sharing something on Facebook that has a brand name in it or a product name or something, it's posted frequently because other people will share it from your social network, and it's got that keyword. So naturally it feeds, it's that kind of food that the search engine spiders love. So participating on the social media sites allows you to maximize your digital footprint and have greater exposure on Google than just if you were to only have one website. Instead, you can have a website and a blog and YouTube channel and Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus, and the list can go on and on. So it's a great opportunity to maximize your real estate on the internet. I think for students, the thing, especially as you're looking at getting into the workforce, you've got to have a digital portfolio that represents your work, represents your knowledge and your experience. So I think the great way to do that is through videos on YouTube and through blogging and through a good LinkedIn profile that lists all your experience. I think increasingly employers are going to LinkedIn first to look for people. Headhunters, I know, use LinkedIn like crazy, searching, you know, by keywords to find people that would be a good fit. So for a student, there are so many good tools, but I would focus on LinkedIn to build that professional kind of resume that you need. And then however you can support that with other content, particularly video or photo content, I think is really helpful. And writing, of course, you know, papers that you've written could be on a blog post or, you know, other site where you're sharing that kind of content. For organizations, I think you should have a footprint in all the spaces just to maximize Google search. And then I think you focus on the channels where your key constituents are. In other words, you survey your clients, okay, and you say, would you prefer that we communicate mostly with you on Facebook or on Twitter or by email? You know, or what percentage would you assign to these tools? And just because the tools exist doesn't mean you use them all, but I think there's a good strategy and a good reason for having a presence on all the sites, but then I think really focus your efforts on the channel that you know that your constituents want to engage with you on. And again, that could be video content, it could be text, depends on your product or service and which area might be a better fit for them. I think sometimes as students, you may feel like you don't have a lot to contribute because you don't have a lot of world experience, but you've grown up in this digital age with these tools, and I think you've got a great opportunity to share your personality in a way that people couldn't do before. And especially if you can create content, video content in particular, that shows and demonstrates your expertise, shows you working on a project, shows you working in a team. Think of it like a mini apprentice, you know? If you can have that kind of content out there that really supports what you've got on paper, on a resume, and can support what happens in a 20-minute interview, think it's a great way to really position yourself as a strong candidate for a job, and it gives you the skills. One of the things I shared is that you should use the tools personally and then apply them professionally. So now's your time to explore, right? As a student, you can use all these tools and see how they work and build your network, and then take that with you to your job and apply it to your employer.